As regards but one hashtag out of the text, Schreiben Staatsanwaltschaft Frankfurt, paragraphs 211, maybe 249 StGB, there are the list of deaths in my relativity. And 1985, I think it was the death of our grandmother. The question is whether it already then, if it later became normal, and having used that as a precedent, which gameplay-wise was not doable by everybody, but by a person having had already advised, or was it later? Anyhow, without pointing into that direction, already opening up other directions and possibilities. The question is, as it was then not known to many, but to the very one rewarding, if it indeed was the case that you, Ingo, at the age of 19, were being presented with anything gross, grand, delicate, um, really worthwhile, anything. The Abitur, if people do assume something like this here, upon having been trained that academic works are being diverted, in my case, onto streets, albeit this is not academic, referring and lending from academics, but it is a possibility of business, but without a proper a law case involving the right kind of people in the right roles, it is all worthless. It is all worthless. So the Abitur is not out of is not to be questioned because you were good enough to having received that result, which was not too good. It is not ein Abitur. The note that you have gotten upon having done the work on the Eisenbahn connecting Bruchhausen, Filsen with another city, I think it is Hoya, and finally Bücken, Bruns, ending at Bruns's, at electricities. Also not of a question because you were indeed eloquent, and indeed you could formulate. Um, um, the fact that you were allowed to enter the German Bundeswehr, that indeed could be something because you were not sportive at all, as I, albeit not fat or anything, but simply we are not sportive. Albeit me, I could swim, whilst you could not. You can though, but not on that level. That was prior though. It is the same matter as with singing. Meantime, I have a smoker. So what else? You were traveling all in a while, but also one of your friends did. So from somewhere was the money coming. In his case, indeed, one could question that. So, were you being endowed, as I was later, with a proper company, and that was your present, or were you already also being presented with that journey possibilities? We are Westerners. We had not problems with entering those countries, so endowed with context there, then in that case, but this is unlikely. Um, you our mother paid, very likely, or in later month the money that you have gotten on grounds of Bundeswehr was sufficient. So what else did you get? Was it the study place later on in Passau? um, there was no NC needed, so your Abitur was sufficient for having received the place. Have you met there any major of a major important people? Annegret, not Annegret. That is another. That is alluding to Horst Hamburg. Annegret Kramp-Karrenbauer. Yeah, Annegret. You know those people also. Uh, I showed you several examples, and this is but another example that I know better or otherwise. The persons that I have been presented, that were being presented to me in Passau, I get an idea. In Passau, um, this Folger girl from Nienburg, she was playing us, the one still adoring and admiring you, meaning wanting you, really. The Burkhardt, not Burkhardt, that is Marburg, that is me. Um, no, the other one. Later, a pope indeed was having that name. Um, uh, we are getting closer, I think. Um, well, who else? Who else? Astoundingly, no other name fell. The flat of yours, I think you might have had another flat there, because that flat was stinking. That flat indeed was stinking, and now we're getting to the arson topic. That flat was stinking mold. That flat indeed was stinking mold, so any a person having spent there at least one night would stink after mold. You might have only had that and received visits over there. Meaning, any a person, a young girl, way too young, traveling back to Lower Saxony, or to else a city in order to blur her traces, was for people being in the nose to be safeguarded, maybe even to be propped up with money on the way. So I assume that you have received Tina Lücke once in a while on a regular basis to make her what. Um, I'm not okay. No, not okay. Because we were in the beginning of the 90s, and the child molestation issue was not really an issue. And the fact that later people have suffered a lot, as was visible, and the BKA way too late, was being endowed with to watch it all. If they watch it all, no, I think you were co-educating her, and in coincidentally doubled, where you were setting that person into prospects of one day replacing and having become already me. Meaning, you prepared over years, over decades, for a final push, for a final repeated push in doing your last murder. I'll online this.